A successful CEO walked into a McDonald's at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night. He was exhausted, angry, ready to quit everything. But a 17-year-old cashier said one sentence that would change the way he led his company forever. This isn't about money. It's about perspective. His name was David Chen. At 42, David was the CEO of a mid-sized tech company in Austin, Texas. From the outside, his life looked perfect. Corner office, 6-figure salary, respect from his industry. But inside, he was falling apart. For months, David had been working 16-hour days. His team was behind on a major project. Investors were breathing down his neck. His marriage was strained. He barely saw his 2 kids anymore. That Tuesday night, David left the office at 10:30 p.m. again. He drove home in silence, gripping the steering wheel, wondering if it was all worth it. He hadn't eaten since breakfast, so he pulled into the only place still open, a McDonald's off Highway 183. The parking lot was nearly empty. A few late-night workers, a homeless man sleeping near the dumpster. David walked in, tie loosened, eyes heavy. Behind the counter stood a young guy, maybe 17, thin, wearing a slightly too big uniform. Name tag said, Marcus. David ordered a Big Mac meal. No eye contact, just exhaustion. Marcus rang it up, smiled, and said, "Long day, huh?" David barely responded. "Yeah, long year." Marcus nodded. "I feel you, man. I'm working doubles this week. School during the day, here at night, trying to help my mom with rent." David glanced up for the first time. This kid was probably his daughter's age. "You're in school?" David asked. "Yeah, senior year, hoping to go to community college next fall. Maybe study business." Marcus handed him the receipt. "I figure, if I can learn how people like you think, maybe I'll run something someday too." David froze. People like you. He looked down at himself. Expensive watch, tailored shirt, the kind of guy this kid probably looked up to. But David didn't feel successful. He felt drained, hollow, like he was running on a treadmill that never stopped. Marcus leaned on the counter, casual but genuine. "Can I ask you something?" David, surprised, nodded. "What's it like? You know, being in charge? Making big decisions?" David paused. No one had asked him that in months. His investors asked about numbers. His wife asked why he was never home. His team asked for direction. But no one asked him how he was doing. "Honestly," David said quietly, "it's heavy. Really heavy." Marcus nodded slowly. "Yeah, I bet. But do you still love it?" The question hit David harder than he expected. "Do I still love it?" He used to. Years ago, when he first started the company, he loved the thrill, the problem-solving, the people. But somewhere along the way, it became about survival, about proving himself, about not failing. David didn't answer right away. Marcus just smiled and said, "Your food'll be up in a minute." David sat down in a booth by the window. He stared at his phone. 7 unread emails. Slack notifications lighting up. A text from his wife. "You coming home tonight?" He put the phone face down. The homeless man from outside shuffled in, asking Marcus for a cup of water. Marcus filled it without hesitation. No judgment, just kindness. David watched. Then Marcus brought David's tray over. "Here you go, sir. Hope it helps." David looked up. "You didn't have to bring it over." Marcus shrugged. "I know, but you looked like you needed a break." David felt something crack inside him. This kid working doubles, supporting his mom, dreaming of college, still had enough energy to be kind. And David? He had everything. But he'd stopped seeing people. "Marcus," David said suddenly, "can I give you some advice?" "Of course, man." David leaned forward. "Don't lose this." "Lose what?" "This care. This ability to notice people. I used to have it. When I started my company, I knew every employee's name. I asked about their families. I cared about their problems. But the bigger we got, the more I stopped seeing them as people. They became tasks, numbers on a spreadsheet. David's voice cracked a little. I forgot why I started. Marcus listened, quiet and respectful. You reminded me tonight, David continued. You asked me if I still loved it. And honestly, I don't know. But I want to find out. Marcus smiled. Then I think you will. David drove home that night with tears in his eyes. Not from sadness, from clarity. The next morning, he walked into his office and did something he hadn't done in 2 years. He canceled all his meetings for the day. Instead, he walked around the office. He talked to his team. Not about deadlines, about them, their lives, their struggles, their dreams. He found out his lead developer's father had just been diagnosed with cancer. He learned his project manager was quietly paying off her sister's medical debt. He discovered his intern was sleeping in his car because he couldn't afford rent in Austin. David had been so focused on the business, he'd forgotten the people building it. Over the next 6 months, David restructured everything. Not the business model, the culture. He introduced flexible hours, mental health days, profit sharing. He started having one-on-ones not about performance, but about well-being. Revenue didn't drop, it grew. Because when people feel seen, they show up differently. David also started leaving work at 6 p.m. He had dinner with his kids, he reconnected with his wife. He started sleeping again. And every few weeks, he'd stop by that McDonald's late at night. Sometimes Marcus was there, sometimes he wasn't. But David always left a $100 tip in the jar. 6 months later, David got a LinkedIn message. It was Marcus. He'd been accepted to community college, business program, full ride. The message ended with, "Thank you for reminding me why I want to do this. You helped me more than you know." David smiled, because that night, Marcus had done the same for him. Sometimes, the people we think we're helping are actually the ones saving us.